Welcome to section 6.6, piecewise function. What is a piecewise function? It's a function that is made up of two or more equations. The x values domain will determine which equation to use, and the graph may not be continuous, which means you may have gaps or breaks. Okay? One real-life example. Movie tickets. If you go to a theater, movies, the price depends on the age. Like little kids sometimes are going for free. Adults, usually it's a full price. And many times senior citizens, the price is also discounted. So here we have a table with age versus price. Okay, so it's age versus price. So what does this mean? If your age is between 0 and 12, you are paying $5. Okay? If you are between 13 and 54, you are paying $9. And then we don't know what happens later. So how do we graph this? You can do x-axis, which is your age, okay, and the y-axis, which is your price. And I'm going to put the unit, it's in dollars. Now, how do you scale this? If you look at price, I need to go up to 9. So you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this will be 10. And the age, I need to somehow fit 54. So if I go by 1, I don't have enough space. Okay? So one way to do this is maybe 4 boxes will represent 10 units. So this will be 10 over here. This would be 20. Actually, that's not a good choice. Let's fix this. Let's go by 10, 3 boxes. So it'll be 10, 20, 30, 40, and 54, and 50 will be somewhere here. Okay? Now, how do I graph this? From 0 to 12, you are paying $5. Okay? So 0 to 12. 12 will be somewhere here. And you are paying $5, which is this. Okay, both of the ends are going to be solid, and I will talk about it later. So the graph looks like this. Okay, if your age is between 0 and 12, you are paying $5. Now, if your age is between 13 and 54, you are paying $9. So 13 will be somewhere here, and 54 will be somewhere here, so you are paying $9. So this is the graph, okay? So in other words, if you look at the graph, you are paying $5 if your age is between 0 and 12 inclusive, and you are paying $9 if your age is between 13 and 54. So this is called a piecewise function, okay? And if you look at the definition, a piecewise function is a function that is made of 2 or more equations. In this case, I have 2. The x values domain will determine which equation to use, and the function may not be continuous. So let's practice. I have this piecewise function, f of x is equal to 2x plus 1, and you're only using this function if x is less than 1. So when the domain is less than 1, you will use the top function. F of x can be also equal to negative 2x plus 3 if x is greater or equal to 1. Okay, so how do I know which function to use? Example number 1, I have f of negative 2. So this means x is -2. Okay, look at the two functions. Should I use function on top, the first one, or the bottom one? The answer is I am going to use the one on top because this function is used when x is less than 1. So f of -2 would be 2 times -2 plus 1, which is -4 plus 1, which is equal to -3. Okay? Now, you pause the video and think how would you do the problem in the middle, f of 6. So f of 6, I have to use the second function, -2x plus 3. Why? Because this function is used when x is greater or equal to 1 and 6 is greater or equal to 1. So I will do -2 times 6 plus 3, which is -12 plus 3, which is equal to -9. Okay? And the final question here, what's f of 1? This is interesting. X is equal to 1. Are we going to use the first equation or second equation? The answer is the second. Why? Because 1 is greater or equal to 1. So I will have -2 times 1 plus 3, -2 plus 3, and the answer is 1. In the second example, I have 3 functions. Okay? And the question is, which function do I use? I will only present this example. Okay? F of -2. So the question is, do we use the first equation, the second equation, or the third equation? We use the first equation, f of x equals 5, when x is less than -2. We use the second equation, f of x equals 1/2 x minus 6, if x is between -2 and 6 inclusive. Okay? So -2 is over here. X equals -2 will be in this domain. So I will use this function. F of x will be 1/2 x minus 6, and instead of x, I will replace x with -2, so I get 1/2 times -2 minus 6. Half of -2 is -1 minus 6, and your final answer would be -7. Okay, the final part of the lesson is how do we graph a piecewise function? Okay, so here, f of x equals 5 when x is less than -2. F of x equals 1/2 x minus 6 when x is between -2 and 6. And f of x equals -2x plus 10 if x is greater than 6. So the first one, f of x equals 5. Okay? And the domain has to be, x has to be less than -2. So let's take 3 numbers less than -2. So I can pick -4, -3, and -2. And I will talk about -2 in a few minutes because -2 is not included, so the circle will be open. Okay, when x is -4, the constant is functions 5, 5, and 5. Okay, let's look at the middle function. Okay, f of x equals 1/2 x minus 6 when x is between -2 and 6. So this will be between -2 and 6, and I'm going to put 0. Now, when x is -2, okay, when x is equal to -2, y will be equal to 1/2 times -2 minus 6. 1/2 times -2 is equal to -1. -1 minus 6 is -7. When x is equal to 0, half of 0 is 0. 0 minus 6 is -6. When x is equal to 6, half of 6 is 3. 3 minus 6 is -3. Okay? And the final equation is f of x is equal to 2x plus 10. So here I have to pick x values greater than 6. Okay, I will pick 6, but this means 6 is not included, which could be 6.01. This will be open circle in 2 seconds. And I will pick 7, and I will pick 8. So let's evaluate f of 6. So f of 6, using the bottom equation, will be -2 times 6 plus 10. -2 plus 6 is -12 plus 10, which is equal to -2. Okay? If you evaluate f of 7, -2 times 7 is -14. -14 plus 10 is -4. And when x is equal to 8, -2 times 8 is -16. And -16 plus 10 is -6. So how do I graph this? Okay. Now the challenge is, how do I graph this? Okay, so let's take a moment and let's try to graph the 3 functions. So sketch the vertical on your lines to identify the restrictions. Okay? The restrictions for this function were -2, because it says between -2. Let me actually use maybe different color. Okay, and the other restriction was between 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Now, if you look at the first table, okay, the first table, I have 3 order pairs, -4, 5, -3, 5, and -2, 5. So let's plot the 3 points. -4, 5 is here. Oh, and you have to use this time maybe blue. -3, 5 would be here, and -2, 5 would be here. Sorry if it's not scaled properly. I have some issue with Smartboard. So, and the restriction was, this is when x is less than -2. Okay? So you can basically go all the way to your left. And now this is important. Since the symbol is less, I'm using open circle. If it's less than or equal to, I'm using solid circle. Okay, so this will be open circle over here. The circle is open. Okay, look at the second table. The second table, the values were between the 3 order pairs were -2, -7. So maybe let's use red. -2, -7 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, would be here. The second order pair was 0, negative 6, which is over here. And the third order pair was 6, comma, negative 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, comma, negative 3, which is here. So I'm going to connect the 3 dots, okay, and that's my function. But we have to decide whether the ends are open or solid, okay? If you look at the restrictions, it was x is between 6 and negative 2. Both inequality symbols are solid because less than or equal, so I'm going to have solid circle and solid circle. Okay, so here would be solid, which means it's including the endpoint, and solid. Now, the last graph is y equals negative 2x plus 10. So you have negative 2x plus 10. Okay, look at the table. Negative 2x plus 10. So the 3 order pairs I had, 6, negative 2. I had negative, so 6, negative 2, 7, negative 4, and 8, negative 6. Okay, so let's plot the 3 order pairs. And this time, let's use black. 6, negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, negative 2 would be here. Okay, and I'm not asking you whether this is solid or open, we'll do later. The second order pair is 7, negative 4. So 7, negative 4 would be over here. And the last order pair is 8, negative 6, which would be over here. So my line will look like this. And it's going forever because it asks you to when x is greater than 6. Now the final question is, are we going to have an open circle or solid circle? Okay, look at the restriction. This means open circle. Okay? So your final answer here should be open circle. So thank you for watching this video. This section is challenging, especially the graphs. So you have to be extra patient and you have to practice. Have a good day.